Guys, it's Beverly. I want to come on here and do crochet time number 4. Okay, I'm in Florida. I'm cold. Please don't hate me. No, the temperature outside, I think the high today is going to be 40 something. Because see, I live in central Florida. North of Orlando, about 80 miles. So it's about 10 degrees different than what Orlando would be. So it's chilly. So anyway, so here I am today. I want to talk about a couple things and crochet with you guys. Okay, so this is my homework for the cruise. And so far I have 13 squares done. And they're all edged and all the ends are sewed in. So I've got, if you're checking on my homework progress, I've got 13 done. Now, I want to talk about these books. Crochet activity book and knit activity book. Okay, they're going to be linked below. So let's start with the crochet one first. I'm trying to keep my blanket up on me. This is my 6-day kid blanket. I made it last year. And I decided to keep it for myself as a lap can. And I'm glad I did because I really love it. The 6-day kid blanket. You guys, it's a really nice pattern. So, search it on Google if you're looking for a nice blanket pattern. I did this in Red Heart or 4-weight worsted in the white, and then I used a yarn cake that was a 4-weight, and I just let the cake come off however it did, and I used the white. Okay, so crochet activity book, 100 crochet themed puzzles, large print. So they have brain teasers, picture activities, and word puzzles. And it's Debbie, I'm going to call her Debbie D, because I don't know how to say that word. And Mary Crafter's Fun with Fiber. And it's going to be linked in, I bought it at Amazon, and it's going to be linked below. Enhance your knowledge, enhance your crochet knowledge, enjoy hours of fun, discover how challenging, fun, and deeply rewarding crochet inspired puzzles can be. Explore new ideas through word search, crosswords, and brain games. Relax with mazes and picture puzzles. This book is truly entertaining for all crocheters. That's the crochet one. The knit one, 100 knitting theme puzzles. And again, it has brain teasers, word puzzles, and picture activities. On the back, enhance your knitting knowledge. Enjoy hours of fun. The knitting activity book combines the joy of knitting with entertaining puzzles. Explore unique word search, crossword, and brain games. A collection of mazes and picture activities are relaxing yet stimulating. Creative fun for all knitters. Okay, so let's take a look inside. So, it's broken down in sections. Section 1 has word puzzles. Section 2 has picture puzzles. Section 3 has bonus number puzzles. And section 4 has the solutions. So let's see. I just flipped by something really cool. So let's see what that was. It looked like a sheet. Maybe I was wrong. Okay. So it's got cryptograms, you guys, if you like those. It has trivia about crochet. Logic puzzles. word finds, word scrambles, word search. Pretty cool, you guys. Because I don't want to go through page by page, but I just want to kind of show you a little. There's the word search. So that's what that's about. And the knit one is pretty much the same. Cryptograms, word scrambles, and word search. So it's pretty cool, you guys. And see, I thought it would be cool because I have a 5-hour car ride down to Fort Lauderdale for my cruise, and 5 hours back. And I just thought it would be fun to take along, and there you go. Okay, so I showed you the squares, I showed you the books, and I'm showing you this blanket. I talked about this pattern. This is all V stitches with the rag, R-A-G-G yarn. I'm trying to grab it here. And so that's how it's coming out. And it's just V stitches. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch. And I started it out, and I need to remember the 5-row rule. The 5-row rule. I think it was Ophelia Talks that said if she does 5 rows of something, she's not happy with how it looks, she takes it out. I should have did that, because I started this blanket by chaining 105, and it was only coming out 27 inches wide. Well, that's kind of small. And it really wasn't 30 inches to make, you know, like a nice baby blanket. I know there's different sizes, but the midwives have requested 30 by 30. So it was 27. Sure, I could have put a border on it. This pattern just calls for a single crochet border. And then I was going to use up all the yarn. So I used up one skein of the brown R-A-G-G yarn. This is Mary Maxim R-A-G-G worsted. I'm using an eye hook. So what I decided to do was take it out. Now, when I take something out, I don't frog it and roll it into balls or cakes or anything. What I do is I just cut it where I'm at and pull out a whole bunch and start my chain off of this. You know, I use this as my working yarn. So that's what I did. I had that 27-inch blanket, and I cut it, and I just started using this as my working yarn. Because I don't want to take the time to unwind it, plus it gets tangled and all that stuff. So that's what I do. I end up using the piece that I want to frog as my working yarn. So that's what I did. So, okay, so then I chained 117. The 117 was from the pattern I was working, but it was bulky 6, and this is number 4. So it still wasn't wide enough for me, so I only did 2 rows and I took it out, the chain row and then 1 row of V stitches. So then I decided to add some more stitches, and I ended up with 132 stitches, and I started my V-stitch row. So now it's 36 inches and I'm happier, and I'm doing 8 rows of each color, and I'm making the blanket, and I think I'm happier with it. So I have, I think, a gray color in the rag, R-A-G-G, and the black and white. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is And it's so soft, you guys, and so cuddly. And I'm going to do it until I'm out of this brown yarn. And then I'll be done. The white that I'm using is Hirschner's worsted yarn. Because it doesn't say worsted 8. It just says worsted. And it's a number 4, 100% acrylic. And I'm using that, so that's what it is. And is it white? I think it's called white. Yeah, it's called white. The other yarn that I'm going to use, I think, is called natural. So I'll be using, if it comes out, you know, with the other two. Because that's what I have left over from making the squares. But I still have, how many? 11 more squares to make in my homework. Okay, so I'm going to tilt the camera down just a bit so you guys can see. And now it's crochet time. Now I have to try to think of things to say. Okay, now I'm just doing V-stitches in the V-stitches. So this week I sold 2 owl hats and 1 pair of owl fingerless gloves. So I got to make those back in inventory. Let's see what else. Oh, and I sold 2 turkey pot holders. The turkey pot holders, I got the pattern from Bag O' Day. And I think I showed you guys those. I had them in my craft show, and I sold like 3 or 4 pot holder sets of 2 on Etsy. So I've got 1 pot holder, turkey pot holder, so I have to make another one. So I will have a set, and the woman just bought them last week, so I guess you can buy turkeys all year long. I think she's in Delaware, the woman that bought them. And then the fingerless gloves went to Tucson, Arizona. And then see what else is going on. Oh, Tuesday, this is Sunday. Tuesday I'm getting a package from Christy's Crochet Creations, or Crochet Creations with Christy. We're doing the Wacky Make-A-Do. Wacky Make-A-Do with Mad Mimi. And how we're making it wacky, the item that we're making is not wacky. The wacky part of our Wacky Make-A-Do is that she sent me some yarn and a pattern, and I have to make it. I sent her some yarn with the pattern, and she has to make it. And what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to make this item in celebration of a wacky holiday. Because, you know, there's some wacky holidays. We know that we have the, you know, Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day and, you know, Christmas and Halloween and whatever. Well, these are wacky holidays. Like every day, it's, you know, National Biscuit Day, or, you know, some kind of National Keyboard Day. I'm looking at my keyboard. You know what I mean. And so Mad Mimi decided to do a Wacky Make-A-Do. So that's the deal. So I checked my mail dashboard, I guess they call it, and it says that I'm getting Christy's package. So I'm looking forward to see what kind of hat she wants me to make it. And in our case, we both knit and crochet. So the one I sent her is a knit pattern, and I think she's sending me a knit one. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. And so I'll open it with you guys and show you the pattern. And then I gotta make this hat, because we decided we were going to do hats. Because in the Wacky Make-A-Do, you can make whatever you want. Like if it's a biscuit day, you can make a biscuit. You guys got it, right? And you can always go over to Mimi's channel, or I think if you just enter hashtag wacky make-a-do in the YouTube search box, it will link you to people that have started making their wacky make-a-do's. Now, you only have to do 1 1/4. You can do them as many that you want, but she would like you to do at least 1 1/4. 1 wacky make-a-do. And then you enter it by sending her a picture, or you make a video and use the hashtag wacky make-a-do. And then you'll be entered in a quarterly contest. So that's pretty cool. And I'm very happy that Christy picked me. Can you guys, I had a dream about Christy. I told her, I sent her an email. I dreamed I was at her house and we were going to have movie night. And we were all getting ready to sit down and watch a movie. And the name of the movie was OR. O-R. That was it. I remember it. It was called OR. So I don't know if there's a movie like that out there or not. I haven't Googled it yet. So I sent her a message and she says, well, we should do something together. And so then she comes back and asks me if I want to do a whack-a-do. A whack-a-make-a-do. So that's how we got involved in it. And I'm also waiting for my box from Pamela's Adoring Crochet. Because if you guys remember, I did a yarn swap with Pamela. I had some Stylecraft DK that I wanted to get rid of or eliminate from my stash. And I sent it to Pamela's Adoring Crochet, and she's already showed it on a video on her channel. Now, I want to give you guys a tip. You guys probably already know this, but I always put a stitch marker in the corner, my first stitch, so that I know when I come back, that's my last stitch. And then I also put a stitch marker at the beginning of the blanket in the color of the hook. So this is a red stitch marker, this is a red hook, and I know that it's an I hook. Because, like I said, right now I have turkeys and hats and gloves to make. And if I were to decide to set this down and come back to it, then I would know that I'm using an I hook. And one of the biggest complaints people have is their edges not being straight on their blankets or whatever they're doing. So I always put a stitch marker in the first. And so, for example, on this pattern there's a chain 3, so this is the top, in the top of my chain 3, and I know that that's my last stitch. So that's a tip. And remember that Bernat, no, was it Bernat? No, I think it was Premier Retro Velvet Grand. I found somebody at my crochet club that wanted to make that blanket, and I gave it to her. I'm so happy it has a home. It has a home. And she's excited about making such a fluffy blanket. So that worked out good. And so I left that one behind and started making this one. And this one, even though I frogged it out, so to speak, is making me happy. I really love it. I'm glad I'm finally using this yarn that I've had since the beginning, I think, of COVID. So I'm happy. And I look forward to seeing her blanket if she gets it done. So that's what's going on with that. So I'm just crocheting along here with you guys. Crochet time. And maybe something else will pop into my head. I'm trying to think. Yeah, see, I guess I don't keep that many whips. A lot of people, like one person said they had 15 whips. No, I don't. I'm working on my homework for the cruise, and I'm working on this blanket, and that's it. I have a to-do list, but I don't have another whip. I did have a keyhole scarf. I told you about it, the one that I sold. It's navy blue, and that some Chicago police officers had ordered in the past. That was a whip, and I decided to take a break from crochet, and I finished that, the keyhole scarf. But that, I don't have any other whips. And I noticed that Ella from No Catchy Name and a lot of other YouTubers are doing items from their library. Now what that is if you don't know, is you know how we collect patterns? We all collect patterns. You might collect them on Ravelry, you might have them on your PC, you might have them on your tablet, you might have them saved on Pinterest, you might have them saved, printed out, you might have them all over the place. You might have crochet magazines that you're hanging on to. Well, that is your pattern library. And so instead, Ella said that she keeps looking at new patterns. I know, because there's always new ones coming out. But she's trying to finish items in her pattern library. And that's a really good idea, you know, because if you guys look back over your pattern library, you might end up saying, why did I pick that? And then you can eliminate it, or the ones that you thought you really wanted to make, you could decide to make. And if you're, you know, feeling some Crojo, you lose your Crojo or whatever they call it, maybe those patterns that you saw or added it to your library might stimulate your chromo. I don't know what you guys want to call it. And so this week too, I should be getting, I haven't heard from the Hirschners for those Ogos that I ordered. So I'm trying to think if there was anything else. That I didn't tell you guys. Yeah, this V-stitch blanket is definitely a TV blanket. You can just go along. Yeah, I want to make Christy's crochet creations with Christy's baby sweater, you guys. She's doing a live tutorial. She started it on her live number 55. And you did the yoke first, and this week she showed you. So that, I guess, would be live number 56. show you how to do the body of the sweater, and then like next week they're going to do trim, and then next week after that they're going to do sleeves. But I think I'm going to make it. It's a crochet pattern because it's different than some that I've made, so that might be fun. I already picked out some yarn for it because I bought some of that Bernat Baby Sport at Walmart a couple years ago. And it was in my stash because, like I said in videos before, the only blankets and stuff, sweaters that tend to sell for me are pink or blue. You know, the multicolored ones don't really sell. And so I bought the yarn thinking, you know, I'd make blankets, and they never did sell. I just always ended up donating. So I have two different skeins or colorways of the Bernat Baby Sport. Brand new skeins. I never used them. So I'm going to make Christy's blanket, and a blanket. She's not, I don't know if she's going to do a blanket or not. But the sweater, hat, and booties is going to be a live 6-week make-along. And of course, you know, you can run the videos back and forth, you know, because she's, you know, she has them. Or like I've been doing, as I've been writing the pattern down as I watch her video. She does the underarms of the sleeves different than I have been doing. So I'm anxious to see how that comes out. And then I have a go-to baby hat pattern, so it'll be fun to see what hat she picks. And she usually does the Parker booty. I have a go-to pattern that I like for the booty, so we'll see what kind of pattern she comes up for on her booties. You know, because it's good to try something different. Now, the pattern that she's doing, the sweater pattern, is not written down. She's calling it the vanilla sweater, but it's just going to be just in those videos. She's planning, so far, she hasn't decided to do a PDF or anything like that. So I want to do the sweater just because it's different. Which is good. Oh, I want to do a shout out to Evelyn O, because she's driving to Louisiana. Evelyn O. I don't know how she does it. She just gets in the car and she drives. She came to see me in Florida. She just gets in the car and drives. And that's great. That's great. Yeah, so I'm anxious to do some of those puzzles, because since it says that it enhances, what did it say? Enhance your knitted knowledge. So maybe it's going to have like terminology or things like that. So that's something to do. Like we need something else to do, right? So this video is 30 minutes. Can you guys believe it? yarn chatted for 30 minutes. Okay, guys. You know what I'm working on. Love you, bye.